Right, so I'm sorry about that. I had to make some adjustments so that you can see what I'm doing. So we've put tile number 1. It's not stuck very well. I'm not happy with it. So I'm going to put more adhesive. As you can see, I'm putting plenty of adhesive. This is the very beginning. I haven't really decided what color grout I'm going to have. The only idea I have in my head at the moment is that it's going to have brown. It's going to have a turquoise or teal, kind of a teal color in it as well, because I think that goes really well with browns. And I also bought, I'll show you in a minute, I actually bought some mother of pearl tiles which I found on the internet. I believe they were from eBay, and they're in circles, so I don't need to do any cutting for them. I almost forgot, you can see here actually on the camera that this tile has these glittery lines, and in this case, like I said before, I wanted to have not the illusion, but I wanted to remind people of wood, kind of. So this one, I've just realized is in that direction, so I'm going to move it like that. So I want this grain, in this case, for this project, I want the grain to be going all around like that. That's the idea I had in my head, because I think tiles that have a kind of a pattern on them, you need to be careful how you're going to use them, in my opinion. It can look a little bit tacky, shall we say, or confusing if you're using tiles, with different textures and with different kind of patterns on them. I think that sometimes it distracts from the main theme of the mosaic, or the main character of your mosaic. Now, as I said before, I would rather put too much adhesive than not enough. I'm hoping that this coffee table will be in our living room, and for that reason I want to make sure that none of the tiles are going to come off, because that will be upsetting. Let me show you now. I have the camera like this. Let me show you as well the tiles. Let me just move the camera. I've got the phone charging as well at the same time. So these are the tiles I was talking about. You can see the difference in the colors. In fact, I need to buy something in between, really. So I've got 3 sheets here, 3 quarter sheets. This is a quarter sheet. So when you buy it on the internet, it gives you options how much you're going to buy. A square foot, usually these come in square feet. So a square foot would be 4 of those, just to give you an idea when you want to buy tiles next time. So I bought a quarter of a square foot for each color I wanted, and as you can see, you get 5 times, I don't know how much this is, but I think it's enough for what I want to do. And I've got 3 shades, the very dark brown, and then the number 2. I prefer this one actually for the next row. Yeah, and then the one I showed you in the beginning, which does look kind of pink now, but it's not really pink. It's a copper color. And I also want to show you, now that I've moved the phone, the camera, this, which I really want to use on my coffee table. Again, I'll have to tell you when we meet. I think these were both from Mosaic Heaven. Was it Mosaic Heaven? I'm not sure. Anyway, these are the other tiles that I bought. I didn't pay a huge amount of money. I think I paid about £30 for these tiles. I got 2 bags of those, and 3 quarter sheets of these. And remember that these are good quality tiles, they are not cheap quality, so you pay a bit extra, but it is worth it if you want to make something that's going to last, or if you want to sell something that's gonna be, you know, good quality. These, I've never used this type of tiles before. Basically it's just glass. They don't have glitter on them, they just look like that because the bottom of them has this coating, the same as a mirror, but it's obviously not flat, so it gives this effect, and I really like them. Now the only slight problem I have with these is that they are not exactly the same thickness as the ones we're using now, but it's close enough, and I have decided that I like them too much, and whoever puts their coffee on my table, well, they'll just have to find a way to stabilize their drink. Besides, we don't really leave hot drinks lying around, because not lying around but standing around, because of the kids. So it can just be, you know, you can put a book on the table or something like that. It doesn't have to be a hot drink. And in fact, I'm going to be really proud when I finish this project. So I'm going to leave these here on my table while I'm working, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing the edge on our, because we're sharing this project, so it's our coffee table, Moroccan coffee table. Now I've put these, they've gone a bit blurry because of the adhesive, and I'm going to carry on. Now this one, look, hardly got any grains, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to carry on, and at this point now, if you want to fast forward a little bit, I don't blame you. You know, you don't want to watch me here gluing tiles all this time, but it's difficult, you know, when you do a mosaic session in a video. Now there is something that I actually forgot to do, but I think I'm going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be a problem. What I really should do for the rest of my work is I should make the surface of the wood, the MDF, a bit rough. Really, this is something I should have done when I started. You don't have to destroy the wood, but it does help. As you can see, I'm just using a normal Stanley knife, kind of just roughen the surface a bit. It's good if it has a little bit of grip. I'm just going to do this bit now just to show you, and then tomorrow I'll do the rest. You do it kind of like in this direction and then in that direction, just to give it a little bit of grip. I also wanted to tell you about the design. As you probably have already noticed, with mosaics, you know, unless you're doing something very, very specific like faces or hands or writing letters or something like that, unless you're doing a drawing that needs to stay exactly like that in the finished project, usually you end up doing something different, don't you? Your design ends up a little bit different in the end. It's not going to be exactly the same as what you drew in the beginning. So for that reason, because of my experience, I have an idea in my mind about how I want this coffee table to look like in the end. So the design that I did is very, very basic at the moment, like I showed you before. You can see here. So I've got this leaf kind of shape and the edge. So I have 6 triangles, and in each triangle I have this tear kind of leaf shape, and in the middle all I did was I just did a hexagon, because I know that my tiles, I'm going to end up cutting them like this. That's all I've done at this stage, and I thought to myself, for this project the tiles are going to tell me, or are going to show me what design I'm going to do. Also, I forgot to show you the mother of pearl tiles. I'm very excited about that. I'll show you now. Let me place my phone. So these are the tiles that I actually found them on eBay, believe it or not. And I paid, how much did I pay? I think I paid about £3, £3 10p, something like that, for these with postage. So that was really good. And let me take them out of the bag so I can show you. Oh, I've got a little odd bit here. And these are the little tiles. Now, some of them have a hole in them, which my daughter will be very pleased, because I can give them to her and she can make her earrings. She likes making earrings at the moment. And these ones are ready cut, but as you can see, they are very, very thin. And this is a problem for this project, but I am determined to use them. So as you know, our tiles are 4 millimeters thick, and these are probably half. So let me show you. These are only half, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is when I come to use these, which I really love, and obviously they go with the legs that I showed you in the beginning of the video, I'm just going to have to either put extra adhesive to bring them up to the same level as the other tiles, or I was thinking I can just use something else, like well, not cardboard, but maybe I can find something else that I can use underneath, maybe a piece of plastic or something that's not going to rot, you know, something that's not going to corrode. That's why I'm not going to use cardboard, but I just want to use something underneath, stick that down and then stick them on top, because I am going to use these for this project. So I'm just going to show you now. Obviously we've reached the point here I have to repeat that I didn't start here. I started here because I know that I want this to look neat. So what I need to do is I need to cut another tile, as you know very well, for it to fit there. So I need to cut it like so. So I'm going to get my cutters and try. This is also an opportunity for you to see how I cut exactly. Like I said before, when you hold your cutters, you want these two wheels to be straight. Yeah, so you don't want to be cutting like that, kind of, or like that. You want to cut like that, straight. And checking again, making sure that my grain is facing in that way, like I wanted it to. And let's see if this is gonna be good. And there we go. Now it doesn't have enough adhesive on it, so I need to put some more. I can feel it, it's just gonna come off. Also, I'm planning, well, I think, I haven't decided yet, but I am going to probably tile the edge as well, but we'll see about that, because it might get knocked, you know, with so many members in the family, kids running around, it might get knocked, and it will be a shame if the tiles start coming off. Again, it depends on the project that you're doing. If you want to make something that's just going to go on the wall, then you can tile the edge. Make sure that you're using plenty of adhesive. And this is actually a little bit surreal for me, because I've had this stand a few years now. I've had it, and I was just always thinking, you know, I am going to do something with this one day. I don't know when. And then Ross offered to cut this piece of MDF for me, because she was going to woodworking classes, so she had, you know, all the right tools to do it for me. And then it was just sitting in my workshop for a very long time, waiting. And here I am now. I also wanted to mention just a couple of things about safety, things that you already know, but when you are working at home on your own, you know, you get carried away sometimes, you forget, you just want to have your lunch, or you just want to have a cup of tea, but you do need to be careful, because it is glass and you can cut yourself very easily, and you definitely don't want to be doing any sanding or anything like that, you know, with your food right next to you. I do have a cup of tea here, but that's all. No food at the moment, obviously, because my hands are dirty. I am being a little bit messy. If you have any ideas about some things that you would like me to do, please text me, and I will do my best to do them for you. Unfortunately, all the glass tiles are at the cafe now, and I don't know if I can go to pick them up, or maybe I can go one of the days, because the only glass that I have here at home is a different type of glass, which I can show you at the next session. I have already shown you some of it, but it's just not ideal for the technique that we are using now, which is, as you know, we're just sticking tiles down onto a flat surface. So you really, it's easy, it's better at this stage if your tiles are all the same thickness, but I suppose it just depends on what you want to achieve. It is looking good. It is quite dark, this color. It's definitely darker than the wood underneath, but I think the overall effect is going to be very good. It is confusing, these two shades that I've bought, the two darker ones, are very, very close together. I mean, the shade, how dark they are. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think, as far as I can remember, the reason these types of tiles are more expensive is because they use gold or maybe some other metal to give this effect, this shiny, shimmery effect to the tiles. So that's the reason why they are more expensive. Also, if you notice, usually reds and yellows are quite a lot more expensive on the websites, and it makes you wonder why. And somebody told me once it's for that reason, because they need to use, in order to make the red and the yellow so bright, they use a little bit of gold in them. But I don't really know if that's true or not. I'll just have to do a bit more research for you. So what I'm doing now is I just got confused with these shades, so I'm putting some more on the table so that I can pick the darker ones, always putting them, the grain, in the direction that I want. And I am pleased with how it's going so far. Now I have to tell you that the adhesive that I'm using, which was very cheap from Home Bargains, it doesn't say on there that it's for glass, so I am taking a risk here, but it says that at least one of the two surfaces that you are sticking together should be porous. Now the wood is porous, obviously. The wood is porous, and also this is an indoor project, so I am confident that it's going to be just fine. What I will probably do is I will just have to go and buy some more adhesive, tile adhesive, because to be honest I didn't have any left in the house. I think you can see again how I'm cutting. This is very important to me, just to get some of these details right. You know, I think that's what really makes a difference between a good mosaic and an average mosaic. So let me show you here. So I've done this and I am pleased with this, but I'm not pleased with these edges here. Just put a little bit of water to show you. A little bit better. So the way I've cut the tiles here, you can see that my gap is not quite right. So I'm going to take this one off while it's still fresh, and I'm just going to nip the edge just very slightly here, and I need just a tiny bit more adhesive. Now, Van, if you're watching this, remember it's good to put a lot of adhesive, but not so much that it's going to cause you trouble after. Also, what I must do in a minute is I need to clean all of this up. When I say clean, I mean you just use a spatula like this, or like the ones we have in the cafe, and just clean your edges so that it's ready for you when you carry on the next day or any other day, because you don't really want to spend time scraping, you know, the areas where there was just too much adhesive. It can put you off. It can put me off, definitely, from my work. Now, I know that at this point there are gaps. There's air, shall we say, under the tiles, because you saw that when I put the adhesive on the coffee table, I just put it like that, basically, just very, very, in a very simple way. I don't spread it. The reason I don't spread it is because I know that when I push my tile on here, if I've got enough adhesive, the tile is going to push the adhesive where it needs to go. And then I know, I can feel it in my fingers that the tile is stuck properly. I'm also trying to keep my gaps between the tiles the same. As I've said before, I don't know, again, I suppose that's a personal opinion. I think you don't want your gaps to be either too big or too small. You know, if you're making a mosaic and the tiles are stuck right next to each other, that's great. But it's not ideal for every project. In this case, I'm happy with these gaps. These gaps are, I don't know, 1 millimeter, something like that. And I think what I might do now is just to make it a bit more interesting for you, so you don't have to watch me do this for another half an hour. What I would like to do is maybe try to think about what kind of design I'm going to have on my Moroccan coffee table. So like I said before, the basic idea at the moment is turquoise, sorry if I'm not saying that properly, I can't say it, turquoise color, which reminds me of the sea, and then possibly combined with this copper wood effect, and obviously we have to use some of the mother of pearl. I also wanted to keep this design quite simple, so I didn't want to use too many colors. I wanted to use maybe 4 or 5 colors maximum. Again, just to give it the impression of an inlaid, I think that's the word, inlaid table. And I think I might just do the edge of my, which you can't see very well, but there's a shape here, like a tear shape, and I haven't even thought about how big my pieces are going to be, so I don't really know what I'm doing. What I do know is that I wanted these tear shapes to have one of those on top. So each one, I wanted on the tip of them, I wanted them to have one of those all around. But I can't really stick these down yet because, like I said before, they're very, very thin. And if I stick them down, it's going to cause a problem. But I'll just put them here for now, just for inspiration. So that was the idea, you know, that they pop against the dark brown. And then possibly another one can go here, so on the bottom of each tear shape. So at the moment, what I just thought is that, for some reason, don't ask me why, I don't know why, I'm just following my kind of intuition, is one of these copper tiles will go in the middle of each of my leaves. I have been to Constantinople, or Istanbul, some people call it Istanbul, the proper name is Constantinople in Turkey. And if you ever go there, or if you have been, you will have seen mosaics in the city, and obviously a lot of Islamic decorations, you know, Moroccan architecture and Moroccan accessories, shall we say. They have a lot of patterns on them, geometric patterns, that sort of thing. And I've always liked that style. I don't really know why, but I've always really liked that style. So I suppose this table is to remind me maybe of those travels. I've been to Egypt as well, and of course when you go there, it's full of bazaars and you know, people trying to sell you all these things. So I'm already starting to develop something here. So I'm using the copper like this, diagonally. Also, this is not measured. I'm not measuring anything at the moment. I'm just finding the approximate center of my shapes, my tear shapes. I suppose for me, for this project, this is for fun. I am really enjoying it, And I think for me, for this project, as long as the basic measurements are correct, so obviously the center, you want the center to be correct, you want the edge to be neat. I think in this case, you know, it's going to be a coffee table, so you want at least the edge of your design, the edge of your table to be neat as possible. But the design, I don't know, I wanted to look more natural. I wanted to have a natural flow. I don't want it to be, even though it's a geometrical design, I don't want it to be lifeless, shall we say. I want it to look kind of handmade, because mosaics are handmade, you know, and that's what makes them special, you know. If you want to make a mosaic that's absolutely perfect, then you can learn how to do photo mosaics or something like that. Now I've done this, and I'm starting to have an idea in my mind about how it's going to look in the end. I just want to grab a pen and show you, because it's a shame if you can't see the design properly. So I'm just gonna get I just have a very soft pencil. Again, when you're doing your design on your board, try not to use a pen. Try not to use a pen, because if you change your mind, you're just gonna fill the space with altered designs, and it's just going to confuse you. So just use a very soft pencil, like this one is a 6B pencil. That means it's really soft, and just go ahead and do your shapes. I'll just do one, and then you can see what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's probably a name for this shape, but I don't know it now. Maybe I can tell you next week. This was I can get very lazy when it comes to drawing my project, but like I said, in this case, it's not a huge project. I've got the basics right. Again, Ross was kind enough to draw these lines here, so I have my center ready. Everything is nice and neat. So this is the shape that I'm going for. I've done it a lot more so that you can see. And like I was saying before, I just have this inclination to put a mother of pearl there and possibly another mother of pearl there, and I think it's kind of nice. So it's obviously going to be symmetrical all around. Now what I was thinking was to use some of this, the turquoise color. I really like this color. This color came in, this kind of tile comes in lots of different colors. I'll have to maybe give you the link if you really like it. And as I was saying before, you can't tell from the video, but it's slightly thicker, but actually I think it's going to be just fine. Now, because this is quite fancy, I mean, it's really shiny, I don't know, I don't want to use too much of it. I don't think it needs that much. So what I'm thinking to do at this point is maybe use some of this mother of pearl all around, maybe. Like this. Now, who knows, maybe when all of this is done and finished, I might do the same as what Leslie did, which was to coat her mosaic. One of the mosaics that she made, we coated it with resin, epoxy resin, because she said, oh, you know, what can I do so that it doesn't, the grout doesn't get stained, because she was making a tea, what you call it, a base, you know, a base for the teapot. And she said, well, what can I put on it? Can I put something on it to protect it? So we thought we can put epoxy, and I might do the same for this, only for that reason, only so that it doesn't get dirty when and if people are putting their drinks. Now, I'm not so sure about this right now. I'm just thinking if there's anything else I can show you today, just to make it a little bit more interesting for you. So the problem I have here is that these tiles don't fit very well around my square, and I'm just not very happy with it at the moment. You know, I'm just not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing. Let me cut some of this blue so that you can see what it's like. So if I just cut this in half, remember when you cut glass, use your 3 fingers like this. I'm left-handed, so I'm using my left hand to hold the tile. Like I said before, you hold your cutters straight, so you don't want to hold them like that or like that. Hold them straight and make sure that you are holding your tile, or at least put your hand underneath like a cup, so that when you cut your tiles don't fly everywhere. So in this case, I'm holding it like this, cutting it, and it didn't cut very well actually. That's interesting. See, this is what happens now when you don't use, shall we say, proper mosaic tiles, but I won't let this put me off. Now, I cut the tile, and like I said to you before, it's just ordinary glass, and it has this coating on the one side, which is, look, it's just peeling off. And from what I've read, not from personal experience, but from what I have read, is that when you use something like this, so when you use mirror tiles, basically, you are supposed to prime them or protect them with PVA glue underneath. So really, I'm supposed to put a layer of PVA glue at the back of it. Now, leave it to dry, and then use them for my mosaic. The reason for this is because the stuff they use for the back of the mirror basically is, I don't know what it is, what kind of metal it is, or what kind of mixture it is, but that can lose its color over time, and that can be a problem, because you don't want to make something for somebody or make something really nice and put it outdoors, and then over time it loses its color. So I don't really know what I should do now. I'm not sure. I might just cut some more and just to use them now to show you my design, and then during the week I can cut them. I can put some PVA glue behind, at the back of them, I mean, you can see. This is not the kind of thing that I would use as a professional, I have to tell you. I am very fussy when it comes to what materials I'm going to use. You know, the last thing I want is for somebody to call me after a couple of years and say, oh, you know, the tiles are falling off, or the tiles are losing their color, or something like that. But you know, for small projects, if you follow the right steps, then you will be just fine. So we've got probably about 10 minutes left, and I think I'm just going to carry on here because I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing here yet. So I'm just going to think about the center for a minute. And I think again, for the center, because I'm going to have quite a lot of the mother of pearl going on all around, I think in the center I'm just simply going to use the very dark brown that I started with in the first place. I might put some music or something in the background for next week. So there we are. And now how am I going to cut? How am I going to cut these tiles to make a hexagon? Now, it so happens that these tiles are perfect for this project. The angle of that I need is perfect. The way I'm going to cut them is, I'm not really bothered about the grain right now, which direction it's going to go in. Probably towards the center. I feel like it should go like this, so it should go like that. And the way I'm going to cut it is I'm going to keep this one side, because as you can see, it's the perfect width for what I'm trying to do. And then, because this is my hexagon, so let me show you. The way I drew it was here. This, without measuring, this is just how I drew it in my mind, you know, ages ago. This is kind of, I thought, okay, I'll do the edge first and the center and then take it from there. Now, these tiles have the perfect width to go like that. And all I need to do is cut my tile. Let me show you with my spatula. About like that. And the other side as well. And then I'm going to keep those pieces, because every little piece is, you know, it can be useful for something else, especially if you're using glass that's very expensive. Now this wasn't perfect, but I'm just going to nip it there. And then let's just check. Okay, it's not perfect, but it will do. And then the other side. I don't want to rush this because I want to get it right, this one. This is causing me problems now because of the, as you know very well, the surface underneath. So I'm just trying to balance my cutters. Again, not perfect, but I'm going to nip it here on the edge in the corner. And let's see. Okay, perfect. Again, need to nip it there a little bit. I'm not being very careful today, because really I shouldn't be touching any of this stuff with my bare hands, but I am, because I'm just too excited to be working this project. Finally, I just really happy, and I'm gonna try to not spill the glass anywhere else now. So I'm gonna try and keep it like that. Look, it's not perfect, but it's not the end of the world. All you need to do now is cut it there a little bit. Obviously, it takes practice. I know the back of them is a bit annoying, but with practice, you'll get it right. There you go, I've cut it. It's a bit curved, but I don't mind. You know, mosaics are handmade things. They're not, for me, they don't have to be absolutely perfect. There we go. I'm gonna put this here.
You finished in your shed?
Yeah. There we go. I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to finish the video. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and please send me a text or give me a call. You know, we can have a chat. I'm sorry that I don't have subtitles for Leslie. I need to figure out how to do that, because this is all very, well, it's all brand new for me. I know it's ridiculous, but I've never done a video before and uploaded it online. It's not really my thing, but I am actually starting to enjoy it. So what I need to figure out how to put subtitles on the video, so that Leslie and anybody else can follow what we're doing. And please, if you have any suggestions, any ideas about how I can make this more interesting for you, please let me know. Look at this one, it just came out a bit crazy, but it doesn't matter. It just means that my next one, you can't see very well, but this one's slightly wider, so I just want to try and cut my last triangle. I want to be generous and cut it as wide as possible, if that's possible. There we go. It flew away, never mind. And one more cut. You can see, again, it's not perfect. I've got these straight edges here. I don't like them very much, but I'm just going to put it here and see what it looks like. It might be all right. Okay, so you can't see on the video, but I don't like those edges, so I am very fussy when it comes to certain things. So these edges here, I don't like them, so I'm going to nip them, excuse me, very, very slightly, very slightly. This is tricky because the tile is not the same thickness everywhere, as you know very well. So now I am using the nippers at an angle. I am using them, I'm just exaggerating it now, I'm using them like that, a lot more like that, because I want to make sure that I can cut this little piece here, tiny, tiny, there we go. It's literally just nipping it on the edge. And this is just me, you know, this is just something that I wasn't happy with. So I'm putting my last tile probably for tonight. It is getting very late now. And the last thing that I'm going to do, that I said to you before, is besides putting everything away, because I can't leave anything out, it's just too dangerous. I'm going to leave my tiles in the water because they got a bit dirty from the tile adhesive. I was being a bit messy, so I'm just going to put these back in the water. The blue ones, I don't really want to do it because I can't be bothered, but I have to do it. I'm going to have to put some PVA glue. Any PVA glue will do. I've got some very cheap one from the pound shop, you know, children's craft PVA glue. So tomorrow, if I have time, I'm just going to go over the tiles with a brush with the PVA glue, just to make sure that the surface is protected against the tile adhesive and the chemicals that might react, you know, with that. So that's just something to keep in mind if you want to use mirror tiles in the future. I'm just putting these away. Like I said, I'm keeping all of these because these will come in very useful for other projects. You know, these are all very good triangles. And what I'm going to do, like I said before, is, I don't know if you can see here, I have excess adhesive. It only takes literally a few seconds to do it, but it saves you so much time if you clean your work. Here as well, I stopped there, and I shouldn't have put any adhesive on here, so some of it has gone hard already, but this is still soft. So I'm cleaning the edges of the tiles all around. This white that you can see here is very, very thin, so it's not going to affect my work when I come next time to put the next row of tiles. And tomorrow, if I have time, I can clean up. I don't want to clean them now because I don't want them to move from where they need to be. But you can see already that there's a pattern emerging, and I have to say thank you very much to Soraya and Richard and anybody else who has allowed us, you know, to carry on doing these sessions, even if it's over the internet. It's a lot of fun, and I hope that it inspires you to continue creating nice things, basically beautiful things. Here we go. So you can see what I've done so far. I've done my center, which is like very basic for this project because this is a symmetrical project. And you can see that these are not placed with great accuracy, but still they are centered, aren't they? If you look at the distance. Also, when I was gluing them down, I was just looking at these two corners here, and I was just trying to put them kind of in a straight line. So I had an imaginary line like this, and just trying to put them in this direction, and I think that's absolutely fine. Let me show you the legs as well. Now that it's in this position, the table. This is the structure. I think it's really beautiful. It's I don't know what wood it is. This is it, and this is, I think it is real mother of pearl. We'll see. And I might just give it a clean when it's all done. Also, again, like I said, I'm really fussy. I might paint when it's all done, see how it goes, and I might paint this just a neutral color or something, you know, so that it just looks neat, nice and neat. And here all around, we'll see when the time comes. When I do the edges also, I don't know if you can see, this is something that you all have with your projects, or most of the time, is when it's all done, you've got gaps here, you've got air basically. So, and it's important to fill this in properly, because you don't want, this is where the mosaic is more fragile, isn't it? So people can knock it or something and the tiles can come off. So it's very important to fill this in with the same adhesive. It will only take you a little bit of time, and then possibly, if you are going to cover this with something, some people like to use like a copper strip or something like that you can find on the internet. If you do use something like that to cover the edge, then it's best to cover it all the way up to where your tiles are, so that you can protect them. But we'll come to that when it's time to come to that. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm really looking forward to doing another session next week. So we'll speak soon, and have a good week. Bye.